Welcome back. It is week four, episode 4 of my 2019 Ramadan Keto Journal. And as usual, I have a bunch of updates for you on my body weight and my body fat percentage. I took a different kind of body fat test this week, which came back with some interesting results. I can't wait to share those with you guys. And currently we are about 23 days into Ramadan, so what that means is we've got about a week left, so we're in the home stretch here. I feel like my body's kind of adapted to fasting. It hasn't gotten easier. I was hoping it would. It's actually gotten a little more difficult as time has gone on. I think mostly because I'm starting to run out of energy, especially towards later in the day. But we push on. It's a great month. I can feel a lot of benefits. Like I feel my aches and pains in my body are gone, probably because I'm resting more, not training as much. Yeah, so far so good. Let's jump right into the results. Again, to reacquaint you, my whole goal with doing Ramadan fasting with the keto diet was to try to maybe lose a little bit of weight. Actually, I was kind of okay with my body weight, which is around 180, I think is optimal for me. But what I really wanted to change was my body fat percentage. And so I've been tracking that week by week. And so here's what I came up with this week. So just to remind you, last week I weighed in at 180.2 pounds. And my body fat percentage on my home scale, my Renpo scale, was 13.6%. This week, 7 days later, I weighed in at 178.2 pounds. So 2 pounds less, so that's 2 pounds less in 1 week. And then my body fat percentage actually decreased as well, incrementally. So I went from 13.6% last week to 13.4% this week, and that's on my home scale. I like using my home scale because I have it here at my house and I can do it regularly, and I can really track changes from week to week because I know the scale is going to be consistent. I tend to weigh myself after I do a workout, so there's a lot of consistency, allows me to monitor my progress. So based on that alone, this week was a success. And so far this Ramadan diet keto thing has been a success because I've been incrementally losing weight and body fat percentage. But let me tell you about some other results that I got. And these are body fat tests that I've done outside of the home. The first one is at my gym, and they have the full body electrode body fat test. Again, where you can use the handles and also it attaches to your feet. That one this week said I came in at 8.9% body fat. That one I've always been suspect of. At the beginning of the month, I was close to 8.8%. Then it jumped up to 10% last week. Now it's back to 8.9%. So it's kind of fluctuating in weird variation. It's not like a linear progression like my home scale is. So there's that one. Don't know how much weight to put into that or what to think of it. But here's the big one that I did this week. I told you last week that I would do a DXA scan. This is a full body scan that requires you to lay down on a bed, and then there's an imaging machine that kind of goes over your body slowly. It takes about 6 to 10 minutes to do, and it's measuring the components of your body, fat, bone, muscle, to see what you're made of and what percentage your body fat is. So I went into that feeling really good, like I'm gonna have a low body fat percentage. I've been doing this for Ramadan, and I've been making progression on my home scale. So let's see what it comes up with. And so I did the scan, and when I got done, they handed me this nice report. You pay $45 for the scan, so they give you a nice folder, and then there's a paper with all the results on it. And I came in, according to this, at 22.5% body fat. So I have a lot more body fat, according to this, than I thought I did. So I was a little shocked to see the 22.5% number, especially after I'm getting around 9% at my gym and then around 13.5% at my home scale. So that's a pretty wide range. And so I really don't know what to make of that data. So in terms of absolute body fat percentage, I really have no idea what I'm at. I'm somewhere between 8% and 23%. That doesn't really help me much. So what I'm going to do, though, is to use these different data points as a measure of progress. So what that means is I will continue to do my body fat test at my gym, and every once in a while I'll get a DXA scan, probably not as frequently because they cost 45 bucks a scan, so maybe every quarter or every couple months. And I'll use that data to track progress, to see, am I improving, am I gaining muscle, am I gaining fat, what's going on. But in terms of absolute body fat percentage, again, with these 3 different data sets, I have no idea. Like, I don't know if I'm closer to 10% or closer to 20%. So my goal of getting down to 11-10% body fat, I don't know how I'm going to meet that, unless I can meet it with all 3 of these tests somehow, or perhaps an average of the 3. So we'll see. So that's my body fat and weight progress. Again, I'm happy because on my home scale, I lost 2 pounds and I lost incrementally from 13.6% body fat down to 13.4%. So next I want to talk about cholesterol. And why do I want to talk about cholesterol? Well, it's because on a keto diet, you're eating 70 to 80% of your calories from fat. And so if you've grown up listening to the medical industry and the diet industry, traditionally we've been told that if you eat more fat, you're going to get fat, you're going to have more cholesterol, you're probably going to have a heart attack, that type of stuff. Obviously that's been called under, been under some scrutiny lately, where it's been determined, or people tend to think that sugar is more of a cause for those types of things, obesity and fat and maybe even cholesterol. And so when I got on the keto diet, I was concerned about my cholesterol. I have a family history of cholesterol, and because of that, I take cholesterol medication. And so I was concerned that if I switched to a keto diet, is my cholesterol going to go, high off the charts? And so first I'm going to show you my cholesterol readings as of October 2018. So that's about 7-8 months ago. Just to show you a baseline of what my cholesterol numbers were prior to starting keto. I was in the normal ranges, of course, partly because I'm taking the cholesterol medicine. If I wasn't taking that, maybe I'll be, I'd have high cholesterol, possibly. Then the second result I'm going to show you is a couple months into keto. I had my doctor set this one up just to make sure that keto wasn't going to kick me into high cholesterol. And then finally, the last set of numbers is the cholesterol readings I had right at the beginning of Ramadan. And the purpose of taking that was to compare it against the end of Ramadan to see if fasting and keto had any, significant impact on my cholesterol numbers. So here we go. Here are my cholesterol numbers. Okay, so as you can see from my 3 different cholesterol readings, overall the keto diet has been pretty good for my cholesterol, particularly reducing my triglycerides, which is great. It's been slightly bad for my LDL, my bad cholesterol. It's gone up a little bit, but not up enough to put me in in a bad range. I'm still within a normal range. So overall, I don't have huge concerns about my cholesterol on a keto diet. However, I will continue to monitor it to make sure I stay within a good, healthy range. The other things I've thought about doing is trying to avoid bad fats, I guess saturated fats, to the extent I can, and try to stay with good fats or things like omega-3s, and to see if that has an effect. And then also trying to do what some people refer to as clean keto, which is eating a lot more vegetables like broccoli, kale, spinach, avocados, which is a fruit, but and try to keep it on the clean side rather than focusing primarily just on meats, right? Which red meat has a reputation for having some bad outcomes. So the idea is to continue doing keto, just having more veggies and probably less red meat. Maybe switch to more seafood. So that's my cholesterol numbers. I'm looking forward to taking a final cholesterol test at the end of the month, And then wrapping up with the final episode that draws some conclusions, some takeaways, what I might change for next year's Ramadan, whether I'm going to still be on keto or not. I'm still kind of thinking about that. Do I want to stick to this diet forever, ever? So I'll hope to answer all those questions for you next week.